The zone is a masterpiece of terror, exploration, and glorious gun mechanics that have yet to be truly untapped. And with the top 50 mods that I've combed through since the last video, we can make this experience so much more enjoyable. For instance, realistic weapon overhauls, quality of life changes, as well as realism aspects of NPCs dropping armor, weapons with attachment, glorious renditions of ALife, removing some mutants and just adding human NPCs everywhere for those glorious headshots, to being able to parkour around the map. There'll be something here for everyone. So let's go on a journey. Let's check out the top 50 mods for Stalker 2 since the last video. If you haven't checked out the last video where we cover the top 50, I'll throw a link in the description. Check it out, the top right. I've spent a ton of time doing this, so if you do get anything out of it, consider liking, subscribing. It's going to help me thrive in the zone. But without wasting any more time, let's get into the top 50 best mods. Stalker 2, Part 2. The Painter of the Zone Bloody Wounds mod introduces enhanced visual effects for bullet wounds and blood patterns, providing a more visceral and immersive experience. The wound textures have been enhanced, but you can really see a much bigger fleshy wound texture on NPC and mutants when hit by bullets. There's also blood being rendered around bullet holes, adding to a depth of realism. The focus change, however, currently affects only flesh wounds. Other damage types remain untouched, for example grenades. It's a nice visual upgrade, improving the overall graphic fidelity of wounds, enhancing the immersion in combat scenarios. Really nice one to pair with some of the other blood texture mods that we've covered. Pairs well with Painter of the Zone, Better Blood Wall Marks, which we covered in the previous video. This is a must-have mod for players seeking a more graphic combat experience. Better progressive NPC loadouts. NPC Carry Attachments mod provides an intriguing gameplay addition focused on expanding weapon customization by allowing NPCs to carry and use weapon attachments. Key features are it adds attachments to NPC weapons such as magazines, scope, and other upgrades. Currently supports all assault rifles, machine guns, shotguns, and sniper rifles. There'll be future updates. This is sort of just an initial release. The updates will include pistols, SMGs, and special weapons. Pretty impressive mod, allowing NPCs to spawn with various weapon attachments, scopes, suppressors, extender mags, you name it. It's a pretty cool mod where we'll be able to find typically broken weapons that will have attachments, adding to a good amount of extra resources and usable equipment. Since it is a test build, there are some known issues, so it's still in very early stages, but it's a really cool concept for this mod. This is a very promising gameplay addition for Stalker 2, offering increased immersion and tactical variety. While still in the test phase, it has a potential to be an essential mod for players seeking a more diverse and challenging zone experience, as a lot of the NPCs will now have potentially more potent guns with some of these attachments. Powerful rocket launcher is a gameplay tweak mod that makes the rocket launcher, or the RPG I should say, extremely potent. You can now pretty much one-shot most of the mutants, or nearly all the mutants, as well as insane damage. Feels like it has a bit more of an area of effect. I do know there are a few bugs around this one. I've been trying to use this and every second or third shot might not actually register within the game. However, it does make the rocket launcher insanely potent, making it a much more viable option to take out the mutants, particularly mutants like your Psy Giant. Nice little mod, giving a lot more punch to your RPGs. Moths Weapon System Overhaul mod for Stalker 2 offers an impressive rework of the game's weapon attachment systems, focusing on customization and future extensibility. The mod is reworking the attachments for all weapons that can support them. For right now, the AR-416 has now been updated to allow pretty much every attachment that it would support, which dramatically enhances gameplay variety and tactical choices. The mod is in its infancy and it aims to include custom guns and attachment once the SDK is released, promising an expansion in weaponry within Stalker 2. Files that are modified in this mod are the weapon general setup, character weapon setup, and attached prototype, so there will be potential conflicts. However, there will be plans to adopt Herbata's DLC method for conflict-free integration. Some important notes for this one though is when you do update, make sure you remove all the modded weapon attachments from your weapon before updating. But the mod does offer a nice detailed instructions on how to do all this stuff, so it shouldn't be an issue. But Moths Weapon System Overhaul is a well thought out mod with significant potential. It focuses on customization and long-term extensibility, offers the most variety and choices in terms of new attachments being applied to the AR-416. Most definitely keep your eye on this, as this will expand to more and more weapons within weeks, months, and by the time we get the mod tool, expect new weapons, new attachments. This mod is going to be a huge cornerstone to many mod packs and players. Looking forward to watching this grow as an amazing staple, as the planned updates and features make this mod a worthwhile addition for players seeking to enhance their weapon customization experience. The fully unlocked Ballistic and Range mod is a comprehensive overhaul for Stalker 2's ballistic system, addressing the inconsistencies and shortcomings of the vanilla's game's weapons and damage mechanics by introducing realistic ballistics, new damage models, and a full rebalancing of the weapon and ammo. This mod transformed the core gunplay experience, which is heavily balanced around performance. Guns have huge drop-off within short ranges, as right now the game is kind of rendered to have quite a short distance. But the key features are realistic ballistic simulation, enables full bullet trajectory simulation of up to 2,000 meters, adjusts the bullet drop-off and damage fall-off mechanics to reflect real-world behavior. Each weapon is recalibrated based on its ammo type, barrel length, and ballistic coefficient. The weapon damage reduces the bullet sponge mechanics, making gunfights much more lethal for both NPCs and the player. It introduces realistic armor penetration values, ensuring appropriate damage scaling against various armor types. It removes the artificial damage disparity between NPCs and player. The ammo adjustments introduce unique properties for different ammo types. The AP ammo increases penetration with variations across caliber. The HP ammo boosts damage and bleeding at the cost of penetration. The sniper ammo improves trajectory and penetration, but increases the recoil and wear. When it comes to the weapon customization, there's rebalances on accuracy, recoil, and durability for all weapons. Adds a new carbine category for compact short barrel rifles. It adjusts stats like rate of fire, magazine size, and weight to match the real world counterparts. There's also improved explosions. Doubles the effective radius for grenades and other explosives. Balances out the damage for NPCs and players, making explosives more impactful. There's also some enhanced NPC behavior. Integrates elements of the Makeland's Better Gunplay mod to refine NPC combat dynamics. It also adjusts AI behavior based on weapon type for a more authentic combat experience. Some updates to the UI, which fixes and improves weapon tooltips to provide clear and accurate stats. Displays realistic fire rates, damage and penetration values. Introduces a new distance and accuracy metrics tailored to weapons category. This is a true weapon overhaul mod, introducing immersive gameplay, transforming gunfights into high-stakes encounters, rewarding precision and strategy. There's balanced progression. Realistic rebalancing ensures that the weapon and ammo types have a defined role, eliminating outliers and inconsistencies. There's increased difficulty and tension. More deadly encounters force players to rely on tactics and preparation, enhancing the survival aspect of the game. The fully unlocked ballistic and range mod is a masterclass in transforming Stalker 2 into a realistic, more immersive experience. Shay's Living Zone is a significant overhaul mod designed to create a living, dynamic world by enhancing AI behavior, environmental activities, and immersion. It offers modular options tailored for different playstyles, ensuring compatibility and minimal performance impact. The key features is it adds a dynamic ALife system. It revamps the game's ALife system, the artificial life system, making the world more immersive and responsive. NPCs and events occur naturally based off selected timescales, adding variety to the gameplay. There's quite a few different editions. We have the standard edition, which is designed for immersion, slow-paced play, minimal but consistent activity of up to 165 meters. Best for players who prefer calm, exploration-driven gameplay. And we have the action edition. This is faster pace, with events occurring every few minutes, moderate activity radius of 350 meters, strikes a balance between immersion and action. Then we have the very active edition, high intensity version with near constant activity and scenarios, larger activity radius of 350 meters, tailored for players seeking an action-packed experience. There's also custom timescale versions, 1 times, 2 times, and 4 times, each representing hours within the game. So for instance, the 4x version is 4 real hours equals 1 game day. When it comes to the AI and spawn enhancements, the spawns dramatically align with timescale for realism. It improves the AI broken behaviors and interaction with events happening at calculated intervals. It's also heavily optimized for minimal performance overhead, allowing use on various game systems. The mod works seamlessly with popular mods as well, like Mutant Loot, Makeland's Better Zone, Total Overhaul, Modular Hard Mode, Grok's Modular Mutant Health, NPC Combat Overhaul, Readable Ammo, Instant Long Range Aggro Fix. This is probably one of the best ALife mods that we have right now. Shay's Living Zone is a transformative mod for revitalizing the world of Stalker 2, making the zone more alive than ever. Its modular design caters for a wide range of players, to those favor methodical exploration, to those craving relentless action. with its robust compatibilities and ongoing updates. Faction Patch Mod introduces collectible faction patches that enhance gameplay by providing both cosmetic and functional elements. These patches serve as a visual representation of your in-game achievements, adds a layer of personalization, and can be used for trading and customization. Every NPC in the game will drop a unique patch corresponding to their faction. Should be a 100% drop rate for all NPCs outside the towns. Patches can be used as trophies to signify your victories, counting every single enemy you've killed, or as a tradable item for resources. All the patches are sellable items, offering an alternative currency for acquiring weapons, equipment, or information. A good substitute for coupons. Great mod appealing to players who value collectibles and trade mechanics. Despite minor bugs and capability concerns, this mod adds significant depth to the game's loot and progressive system. With ongoing updates and community support, it can be a staple for many players. Here we have Show Stat Values 1.0 mod, which enhances the game's UI by making items and artifacts stats numerically visible. So for instance, it converts the artifacts medium-high into a numerical format, which makes it much easier to read in a lot of the different cases. It also gives you a precise stat, so it's a bit easier to make certain decisions as you have a very clear representation of what that artifact, consumable, or quest item does. However, it will enhance the clarity. Players will gain much better insight into the items and artifacts' effectiveness, aiding in strategy and resource management. The No Timer and More Random Quest mod is a gameplay enhancement designed to provide more opportunities for questing without time constraints. For instance, the timer removal eliminates the 72-hour cooldown time after completing a quest, allowing players to take on new missions immediately. There'll also be expanded quest choices, increase the number of available random quests from NPCs to 5, offering more variety. It is designed to address the difficulty of earning money, especially in higher difficulty modes like Veteran, but it does enable a more dynamic questing loop to keep players engaged. There's also an automatic refresh. After completing a quest, close the dialogue with the NPC, a new quest will become available within 10 to 60 seconds, giving you a nice option to flick through the various missions. Recommended for players who prioritize questing and narrative exploration, those who are playing on higher difficulties, and fans of dynamic immersive gameplay loops without arbitrary downtime. Here we have a simple but pretty effective mod called the Flashlight Cast Shadows. This enhances the game's visual depth by enabling tactical flashlight to cast realistic shadows, improving immersion in dark areas. Adds a layer of atmospherical depth, particularly in dimly lit or enclosed environments. It will require the Unreal Engine 4 scripting system, an additional step for the installation process. However, the shadow quality will have a dependency of high epic shadow settings. They will be necessary to avoid visual glitches such as purple textures on objects and NPCs, so possibly a mod for higher end spec PCs. A bit more of a trickier but still easy mod to install, but an overall brilliant little change that just makes things way more realistic and immersive. Here we have the NPCs Drop Armor mod. This modifies the NPC loot table to increase the likelihood of armor and, if you like, ammo drops. The mod aims to address the scarcity of the extremely rare armor drops from random NPC encounters, changes to some of the numerical values of the drop chances surrounding armor. The armor drop chances range from 0.25 to 1.0. These kind of changes increase the drop chance range, which will equate to more frequent armor drops, especially when compared to the extremely rare drops within the game. There's also a few different options for this mod, having customizable drop chances, such as NPCs will drop armor plus ammo with a higher chance. There's the NPCs will just drop armor, and then NPCs drop armor plus a little bit extra ammo. This can be a great mod for players who are frustrated with the lack of armor drops within the vanilla game, or those seeking to enhance risk and reward with the new added benefit of being able to sell and collect armor. Fluid movement and aiming overhaul enhances player mechanics by improving movement responsiveness, aiming consistency, and overall control, all while maintaining compatibility with other mods. Some of the key features are improved vaulting. The mod expands the detection range and increases the allowable obstacle height, which means more forgiving approach on angles and better window detection. There's also some stamina tweaks and adjustments. Reduced stamina cost across various actions. Jump used to cost 16 stamina. In this mod, it goes down to 10 per jump. Vault was 12, the mod changes it to 7, and melee attacks now have a 40 to 50% reduction on stamina. There's also a few movement tweaks. You'll have faster backward movement, improved air control, increased crouch movement speed. Also some tweaks around the aiming and sensitivity changes. It balances out the X and Y sensitivity for consistent control, enhances aiming responsiveness. The mod attempts to avoid direct modification to the object prototype file, ensuring capability with most mods. The mod delivers a noticeable improvement to Stalker 2's movement and aiming mechanics without introducing too many balancing issues or capability headaches. Definitely a must try for players seeking a smoother gameplay while still preserving the game's core difficulty. Here we have the No Hide and Seek mod, which disables the invisibility of bloodsuckers, making them permanently visible during your encounters. Nice little touch here for those seeking to be able to run around and not get completely startled by bloodsuckers being invisible. This is going to remove bloodsuckers' ability to turn invisible, ensuring they are always visible to the player. Simplifies combat and eliminates the stealth aspect of fighting bloodsuckers. There's also a meme version which switches their invisibility, so they're invisible when they're standing still, walking around, and then they become visible when they're attacking you. So that's an interesting one too. That's the one I have on currently, but it will definitely change how you interact and deal with bloodsuckers. It could be a perfect change. Also kind of an interesting mod just to see their movements and what their movements are like when they're not visible. So there is two versions, the No Hide and Seek, which will just make them permanently visible. And then there's the inverse peekaboo, which is the meme version, which I have installed. Stalker Faction Id. Introduce a valuable UI element that displays NPCs faction icons when aiming or looking at them. This is particularly useful for players who prefer a minimalist interface without a crosshair, as it helps identify NPCs' affiliations without relying on in-game reticles. The key features and functions are it displays a faction icon when you target an NPC. There's a couple different positions or versions of this mod where you can have the default, which is to the left-hand side. There's another version where it'll appear under the stealth bar. There's also ultra-wide compatibilities. Do note it is an early version, so some NPCs like the Spark faction and unique characters do not display correctly. Zombies occasionally display faction icons incorrectly. However, this is an excellent mod just to help identify all the various different factions through the use of icons. Very nicely implemented. The No Raw Stun mod changes the bloodsucker's raw mechanic by replacing its stunning effect with a bleeding status effect. Key changes of this mod is that the bloodsucker's raw will no longer cause a stun effect. Instead, it inflicts bleeding damage. This will shift the gameplay dynamics by making encounters with bloodsuckers less immobilizing, but more lethal over time due to the bleeding. Depending on where you stand with this will eliminate the frustrating stun mechanic that leaves players vulnerable. In some cases, this could actually make bloodsuckers more deadly, as you won't necessarily be able to jump on objects for eternity where they can't reach you. This mod will kind of force you to engage with them, as the bleeding effect will chip away at your health. Great mod for players who find that stun mechanic overly punishing or enjoy the freedom of movement while engaging with bloodsuckers. Black AKM 74S and UDP variant swap. We've just a nice little retexture mod of a couple weapons. AKM 74S, giving it a very nice black texturing. The texture quality is quite nice, and it is a good little way to mix it up. The Rhino Expanded. This mod makes adjustments to the Rhino revolver, including changes to the optics and adding a suppressor option. Key features of this mod is the optical replacement. We can now replace the 2x scope with a holographic sight for the Rhino. So now we can throw on the collimator, the holographic sight. Mod also allows us to mount the assault rifle suppressor. There are some notes saying that this sounds a bit buggy, but to me it's been working really nicely. It's worth noting though that the red dot is currently blocked or obscured by the iron sights. This will probably be ironed out, get it later. The mod intended is to expand the weapon's utility. Since we have the addition of the holographic sight and suppressor options, this will increase the Rhino's versatility in combat. Caters to players seeking a better optical and silencer weapon for stealth gameplay. However, definitely recommended for players who frequently use Rhino revolver and want better aiming options. Stealth focused players as well. Otherwise, a really nice addition to the revolver. The future improvements are to fix the sound or the suppression, exploring further compatibilities with other optic models, as well as create a solution for the red dot support. Descriptive ammo boxes offers a significant user interface upgrade by replacing all the vanilla ammo box textures with cleaner, more informative designs. You'll get enhanced ammo box textures, unified and easy to redesign for all ammo types, replacing the default textures. It's lore friendly. You'll have ammo type coding, so visual and textural clarification for different ammo types. I really like the look of the new ammo boxes. It's really nice and clean. The aesthetics are great. So another good option to see ammo much cleaner. And while we're here, we'll take a quick look at the large loot inventory mod, which provides a simple, effective quality of life enhancement by increasing the vertical height of the loot inventory. Enlarges the vertical space in the loot inventory UI, reducing the need for excessive scrolling. So it's definitely a really, really nice quality of life mod. I've really enjoyed this one. It just improves usability, practicality for players managing large amounts of loot. or using mods that increase item spawn rates, but you can see so much more within your inventory now. And what I particularly appreciate is the bigger scroll button. Stands out. I'm not sure that's part of the mod, but it's very handy. Overall, just a low impact upgrade that greatly enhances the inventory management experience within Stalker 2. We have another cool blood splatter mod. This one enhances the visual intensity of combat encounters by tweaking blood splatter mechanics and visuals. It adjusts the blood splatter effects for all weapon types, ensuring even low caliber weapons like pistols and SMGs produce noticeable splatter, designed to provide a visceral and more impactful combat experience. There's also a couple different versions of this mod to make other things more persistent, as well as the blood splatter. You'll have footsteps and bolts. Really nice enhance on the visual intensity of using pistols and SMGs, particularly with the extra blood. Better progressive NPC loadouts. Mod introduces a diversity and logic to NPC loadouts by adjusting their weapons and armor spawning patterns. Some of the key features: the Vanilla's game's linear loadout progression tied to the player's rank ensures a mix of low tier and high tier equipment across all stages of the game, adds unpredictability and realism with early game NPCs potentially having good weapons or armor, and late game NPCs having the occasional low tier gear. It's an enhanced progression logic as NPCs improve with the player's rank but maintain variety in equipment throughout the playthrough. Provides a good change in experience by simulating the scavenge nature of equipment within the zone. It's currently in its initial version, and 2.0 I believe is coming out soon. There are some optional features coming in the future update as well, along with balancing various specific gameplay styles such as hardcore survival or loot heavy configuration options. There might be patches as well for popular mods like abundant ammo, NPC drops armor, and project itemization. The mod is a promising overhaul for NPC gear in Stalker 2, adding a variety and immersion to encounters. While the mod is still in its early stages, it shows strong potential for further development and widespread adoption. The Red Shell mod replaces the appearance of shotgun shells in the game with the vibrant red color, enhancing visibility and giving us a bit more realism with those true-to-life red shells. It's a very nice, simple skin replacer mod for the shells, however, it adds a nice touch. There are some cool future updates for this mod, hopefully. The plans are to differentiate shell colors based on ammo type. Buckshot would be red, slugs black, or an optional vanilla blue variant, expanding ammo yellow. A nice visual enhancement. Stealth kill range configurable is a mod that enhances stealth gameplay by allowing players to customize the range for stealth kills. You'll be able to adjust the default stealth kill range from 130 units to a higher distance for more flexibility. Provides options to set the range to 150, 200, 250, with the maximum being 300, allowing for a much greater distance stealth kill for a more lenient and realistic approach to the stealth, depending on the player's preference. It's a cool expanding option for approaching stealth scenarios, making takedowns feel more rewarding and dynamic. A cool must-try mod for stealth enthusiasts with great customization. The Pockets mod is a straightforward quality of life enhancement that modifies all armor to have 5 artifact slots. This change allows for more flexibility in gameplay by giving players the opportunity to equip additional artifacts, which can provide a significant stat boost or abilities. So you can have even the most basic armor now with 5 artifacts. Do note when you first use this mod, you will probably need to switch over armors just so it will unlock all the slots for you. Otherwise it'll look like it hasn't worked. Then after that, you'll be able to add 5 artifacts to any armor you can find. Great mod for players seeking more flexibility in artifact build. The double barrel one-click two-shot mod is a fun and thematic gameplay enhancement designed for players who love double-barreled shotguns. It adds the ability to switch firing modes for the boomstick, so single fire mode, then we can switch to automatic and go boom, double shot. This change is also applied to the TOS 34 shotgun, allowing them to fire 2 shots simultaneously. This feature captures the essence of classic Doom-like shotgun mechanics, offering a really satisfying, impactful shooting experience. The nice feature is that the 2-shot firing mode enables a selected firing mode. So similar to other guns, you will be able to select single to automatic, really allowing you to connect with that Doom-inspired double-barrel shotgun, enhancing the weapon's utility and fun factor. Great mod for those who love using shotguns with a bit of a nostalgic, powerful feel to it. This is the Damascus Knife, a nice visual overhaul of the standard knife. Similar to the others, it's just replacing the default appearance with a stylish Damascus steel pattern. Purely cosmetic, but maybe you prefer this one over some of the others we've shown. But a nice visual appeal for a key piece of equipment, making it a good choice for players who appreciate this aesthetics. And just to mix it up a bit, just getting shots for the parkour mod. Okay, that was a really good shot. The ledge grabbing plus no or less fall damage merge mod. This mod combines 2 quality of life improvements, enhancing the game's verticality and exploration by reducing the punishment of falling while introducing extending ledge grabbing mechanics. This mod is ideal for players who want to explore the world more freely without constantly fearing fall damage or missing jumps. So there's a few different versions, but the main attempt is to just merge ledge grabbing, which allows players to grab onto ledges. And this is a superb mod. It certainly gives more of a parkour feeling when exploration, especially in a place like Rostock. At the same time, you'll have another option to either reduce the damage by 50% or incur no fall damage at all. The added vertical gameplay enhancement encourages exploration in hard to reach areas. It adds a ton more freedom for traversal without the risk of significant damage or death. A really fun mod for players who enjoy exploration, as well as getting to difficult spots and just doing a bit of parkour while you're stalking. In some footage of dropping them in. Project Itemization mod for Stalker 2 addresses the lack of variety in lootable items by introducing over 30 new lootable objects, complete with these really nice custom icons. This mod is perfect for players who find looting a little bit too repetitive and want to bring back the excitement of scavenging through the zone. The key features are 30 unique items in the game with distribution among NPCs across the whole zone. They have custom icons, and the nice thing is there's future expansion plans to integrate these items into stashes, static corpses, and possibly even quests. Also has a standalone or integrated play with compatible versions with Mutant Loot mod for extended functionality, or you can just get the standalone. I believe we covered this mod last time, but this mod is continually getting updated and really does provide a much richer looting experience, particularly when paired with the Mutant Looting mod. The mod will continue to expand and add additional items, I believe. Keep an eye on this because this will probably be a must-have mod going forward. It's also just a really nice touch adding a bunch of these items, looting around and selling them for quite a nice bit of profit. Nothing crazy, nicely balanced in my opinion. We have the Ranger Green reskin knife. This one comes with two versions, green matte and green metallic versions, offering some nice customization in terms of visual style for players who appreciate tailing the knife to look closer towards the gear, adding a nice blend if your fashion is a priority. Another nice addition to the knife skins. The M416 to the M417. This mod offers a simple yet focused rework of the Clusterfuck. The M416 variant, turn it into the M417, the AR styled rifle. It does a full ammo conversion, so it swaps the ammo type from the M16's standard to the 308 caliber, aligning with the real-world AR-10 platform. This change does impact damage and dynamics due to the higher caliber. The stats adjustment, so the damage is increased, befitting to the 308. It's got a ton more recoil, but buffed to balance the higher damage output. The accuracy is improved, presumably to reflect the intended marksman role of the M417. It also has a sound overhaul, replaces the original firing sound with a beefier audio profile to match the new caliber and weapon identity. It also unlocks additional attachments, expanding the customization option. Includes a default muzzle brake, which likely mitigates the coil slightly. Pretty good rework of the weapon. The damage buff and accuracy improvement position this weapon as a viable marksman or DMR option. The recoil increase adds a slight learning curve, ensuring it's not overpowered. It's good sound redesign with great modularity. More attachment slots make this weapon highly versatile. Great mod for blending gameplay enhancement with weapon realism. The fine-tuned stats and sound improvement make it a compelling addition for players seeking the marksman firearm. The less Psy Dog Clones. This mod provides what some might think is a much needed adjustment to the Psy Dog mechanic by reducing the number of clones they spawn. Reduces the default 11 Psy Dog clones to a user selectable option of 3, 5, 7 or 9. This allows players to tailor the challenge to their preferences. The lower clone count makes encounters more manageable without completely removing the core gameplay mechanic. Me personally, I really enjoy the Psy Dogs. However, reducing a couple could be a good option for many players. Also a slight improvement on performance using this mod, as it does reduce the Psy Dog battles. Overall, this could be an excellent quality of life mod enhancement for players seeking a less overwhelming experience in the Psy Dog encounters. It's got a great optionality, so you can adjust the settings. Practical addition to any mod loadout. While the caters primarily to the casual or frustrated player, it's a good customized option. Here's a bit of a meme mod. The Super M701 mod takes a wild approach by allowing that super sniper rifle to fire RPG ammunition. Key feature of this mod is it just turns the M701 sniper rifle into a rocket launcher, firing RPG instead of the 308 rounds. Completely overhauls the weapon's use, making it a high-powered and highly destructive option. The mod heavily increases the RPG's damage as well, making most enemies a one-tap. There's also a few different versions of this where you can have merchants sell more RPG ammunition, have the increased RPG damage, however, doesn't damage the player as much. so a good range of customization depending on your preference. Obviously this completely breaks the game, it is not balanced at all, but it's just a bit of fun. And you'll certainly get some enjoyment running around with this weapon, just blowing shit up. It's undoubtedly fun and offers a unique gameplay experience. Playful addition for players looking to break the rules of Stalker 2. Perfect choice for post-completion fun, chaotic sandbox scenario, or just simply blowing off some steam. The faster consumable animation and no consumable weight mod simplifies and streamlines consumable usage, making gameplay more fluid and convenient. Key features are much faster consumable animations, replaces the standard food and drink animation with the quick pill consumption animation, replaces the medicine animation with the standard injection animation from used for medkits. It also significantly speeds up the process of using consumables, including the medkits, making it a lot less disruptive during gameplay. There's also a few different versions of this mod. You have an option for no weight version. Will remove all the weight of consumable items, freeing up inventory space and reducing micromanagement. That version is probably ideal for players who prefer a more relaxed inventory system. A few other options regarding animation changes, offering an animation change only or an animation change plus no consumable weight option. There are possible other versions coming where they remove the animations completely just for instant consumables. The mod is a highly practical addition for players seeking to reduce downtime and streamline inventory management. Could be a good quality of life change for you if you really want to speed up the use of all consumables. The More Enemies mod provides an engaging overhaul to enemy encounters by increasing the presence of human enemies while reducing the mutant numbers. The main changes are increased human enemy numbers, expands the size of human squads in both random events and based population, making human factions more prominent throughout the game. Ideal for players seeking more tactical, gunfight orientated gameplay. There's a few different versions, but the main changes to the mutants is it will reduce or adjust spawn weights to prioritize human enemies over mutants. This effectively will shift the gameplay experience towards a bit more of a faction conflict rather than a mutant survival. Worth noting that the enhanced spawn mechanics focused around spawn frequency. It's going to decrease spawn delay for random events, leading to more frequent encounters. The spawn distance, adjust NPC spawn radius in random events from 50 meters to 120, which also adds to preventing that immersion breaking spawn that happens when stalkers spawn right on top of you. It does add possibilities of consecutive events spawning. And from my testing, this was kind of cool because depending where you're up to or what you're after, you can just be in a constant battle. You're walking around, there's so many things happening. The world certainly feels a lot more alive as you'll stumble across a lot more combat scenarios and factions fighting, particularly mutants versus other humans. It can also be a nice change to have less bullet sponges and lots of easier targets, but it still increases the difficulty in some ways. So a good option to increase world activity, reduce the survival horror elements. It can have a little bit more of a draw on performance, so perhaps not a mod for lower spec PCs. However, the mod injects vitality into Stalker 2's experience by emphasizing human conflicts over mutant survival. Its increased spawn activity and adjustment mechanics makes for a livelier, more combat-focused world. I quite enjoyed the combat aspect of this mod. Could be a good change depending where you're up to. Here we have the Black Knife mod. Enhances the game's melee combat by introducing a sleek, black-themed knife. Another knife reskin, just replaces the standard knife model with a black themed version, offering a more tactical aesthetic. Could be pleasing for you, offering a more tactical and aesthetic pleasing appearance again. Another good option. The retexture of the unique Lavina Trophy tape colors mod offers a cosmetic enhancement by changing the tape colors for the Lavina Trophy tape. It's just a small little cosmetic change, but there are a few different options. We have blue, a reference to the iconic legendary blue tape mentioned by Novikov in Clear Sky. There's black, a sleek and neutral aesthetic, and red, a bold and striking design. This simple retexture, lightweight mod adds a little bit of customization to your playthrough. Always cool to see. Further changes might include additional color options, some dynamic customization, including the option to choose your tape colors within game, and other extended similar aesthetic changes to other unique weapons. We have the higher condition weapon drop mod. Addresses a common frustration by increasing the durability of weapons dropped by enemies. Changes the durability range of drop weapons from minimum durability increased from 0.25 to 0.45 and maximum durability increased from 0.5 0.50 to 0.80, which will ensure that weapons dropped by enemies are at least in yellow condition, functional with minimal repair. When it comes to zombie enemies, they will still drop red condition weapons. There's also another option for this mod where you can have the improved durability dropped weapons as well as ammo drop is increased. I like the idea about this mod, but I'd just like less frequency, somehow navigating a bit more, balancing between finding some weapons that are more commonly yellow, some zero and some red. Getting that sort of perfect spot will be cool to see, but it is a good quality of life enhancement that improves the looting experience by increasing weapon durability, making scavenging more rewarding, and reduce the reliance on frequent repairs. With this mod, you can pretty much just venture out and switch weapons every time you pick one up. Will also give you a big boost to your economy, but it can throw the balancing out just a bit. Otherwise, a good overall solution to being able to use many different types of weapons more frequently. Here we have the Plum weapon retexture mods. Brings a visually cohesive and stylish update to some of the game's iconic weapons, featuring the SVDM and the AS Lavina. These are just some simple retextures on a sleek Plum color scheme for both world models and inventory icons. So it's a complete retexture of the SVDM2 sniper rifle, commonly referred to as the SVD. Nice little change as it does change the world view model texture and the inventory icons. Both looking quite nice. Could be a little good texture update. Nice way to mix it up with your weapons. Do note that the mods are split into 2 different mods, so you can grab whichever one you want. Nice way to personalize your arsenal without altering the gameplay mechanics. Not to mention that the textures are quite high quality and the attention to detail is also. The All Guides Location Unlock mod changes all the guides, fast travel systems to rely solely on monetary conditions rather than progressive triggers like quest or discovering locations. Players can travel to any available guide destination as long as they can afford the fee. This gives enhanced freedom by eliminating the need to visit settlements to complete specific quests before unlocking fast travel, allowing for a greater exploration flexibility. Worth noting that the final dialogue option may display missing text due to incomplete dialogue mapping. Fast travel does not affect factions hostility or unlock settlement specific quests, meaning the destination challenge still applies. A straightforward yet impactful enhancement to navigating in Stalker 2, simplifying the fast travel system, allowing players to explore more freely without being hindered by arbitrary progression barriers. While it may reduce immersion for some, the mod's flexibility and convenience make it an excellent choice for players prioritizing quality of life improvements. Here we have the inverted knife mod, a subtle but stylish modification to the in-game knife again with the white texture this time. Another nice clean and distinctive retexturing, making it a visually standout knife you can have. Another nice appearance mod, great retextures. And if you've gotten this far and you're hearing this message, thank you so much for watching the video. Legendary stuff. If you get anything out of this, again, please consider liking and subscribing. It goes a long way. Cheers.